First, I want to thank everybody for coming out. It's a packed room. It's really wonderful. And I also, it continues to be an honor to get up in front of people and talk about the service and the war experience and everything that's come after that. It's so strange, actually, because it's like 8 years now since I came back from Iraq, which is a long time. I'm just gonna set up a little timer so I don't talk forever. And I was, yeah, it's a long time ago. And as I've gone on, I've actually written less and less about the war itself and more about different things and you know, a whole variety of experiences. And even when I do write about war, I find myself coming at it from like even an outsider perspective, because each individual's war is so unique and particular, it's hard to make generalizations. So coming here tonight, I was like, what am I gonna do? I was gonna read a bunch of dirty sonnets, maybe, but then I got cold feet, and I decided, no, that's seeing all you nice people. So what I'm actually gonna do is read, Peter had mentioned Fire and Forget, which is, you know, I'm really proud of. Matt and I are the sort of the leading names on that, but it's been a bunch of people putting it together over the last couple years. You can order it on Amazon now. So pre-order that mother. And so I'm gonna read the preface for that, which I wrote, which talks about writing and war and some of the concerns and the difficulties that we deal with there. Then I'm going to read a few post-war poems, and if I haven't gone on too long, maybe you'll get a dirty sonnet. So, one thing a vet will always tell you is that it's never like it is in the stories. Then he'll tell you his. We convened at the White Horse Tavern under the glum and bleary eyes of Dylan Thomas, Norman Mailer, and Jack Kerouac. It was a warm March day, not spring yet, but with winter fading, 8 years and change since we'd invaded Iraq. Afghanistan loomed shadowy behind that, then 9/11, then the Cold War, Vietnam, Korea, World War II, Pickett's Charge, the Battle of Austerlitz, the conquest of New Spain, Agincourt, Thermopylae, and the Rage of Achilles. Stories upon stories, stories of war. We had our own stories to tell, and you might hear some of them tonight. And in each other had found just the right audience to test the telling. There'd be no bullshit, yet we shared among ourselves a subtle understanding that the real truth might never make it on the page. We each knew the problem we all together struggled with, which was how to say something true about an experience unreal to a people fed and wadded about with lies. As Conrad's Marlowe put it somewhere in another War on Terror, do you see the story? Do you see anything? It seems to me I'm trying to tell you a dream, making a vain attempt, because no relation of a dream can convey the dream sensation, that commingling of absurdity, surprise, and bewilderment, and a tremor of struggling revolt, that notion of being captured by the incredible, which is the very essence of dreams. There's always that wobble in war, between romance and vision, between reality and imagination, between propaganda and what you lean on to survive. Each story has one ending, the same ending, and it can come sudden, silent, unseen. The street blows up under your feet, or a sniper gets lucky, who knows? Meanwhile, home is a place you lived once, a different person, a different life, and all the people you loved somehow alien. You come to depend on the hard matter of things because what's real so quickly goes up in smoke. How do you put that on a page? How do we tell you? How do we capture the totality of the thing in a handful of words? How do you make something whole from just fragments? We'd met, the five of us who originally put the thing together, through the NYU Veterans Writing Workshop and other vet events in New York City. There was Jake Siegel, Brooklyn-born, still serving in the National Guard, Perry O'Brien, airborne medic turned peace and labor activist Phil Cly, and you'll hear tonight, Dartmouth grad and smooth-talking Marine public affairs officer. Matt Gallagher, rangy Westerner, once a cavalry officer in a big blue Stetson, and now fighting for vets' rights with the Afghanistan Veterans of America, and myself, a college dropout and one-time hitchhiker made good, now getting a PhD at Princeton. We came from different places and had different wars, but we shared a common set of concerns. Good whiskey, great writing, the challenges and possibilities of making art out of war, and the funny gray zone we found ourselves in, where you shape truths out of fiction pulled out of truth, which might only be the illusion of truth in the first place. So we made a date for the White Horse, where the anthology took root, and over the next year we collected stories, soliciting, nurturing, pruning, trying to put together something we could feel proud of, something, if not representative, at least vivid enough to inscribe on the wars our mark, our signature. Truthiness, in this mass media cacophony we live in, comes up something for grabs. Well, here's some, and you'll hear some tonight. Grab it. We were there. This is what we saw. This is how it felt. And we're here to say, it's not like you heard in the stories. So I'm going to read some poems now. This is called Alba, which is a Provençal form. It's a poem a lover writes as dawn comes and you have to separate from your beloved. So the war is over now. Pink grass shone in the median beneath the sky by turns, pearl and bone. My war anyway. Slow the trees take color. Slow the TV turns. All the news you need for your day. Car bomb kills 7. Flutter in your wrist, coffee hot, reminds you of your life, warm fire and slow, of your life passing and past. Humvee burning, down Route Irish, how a body sags when the heart stops. Mornings quick with tinder, light with rounds, armor, heat. The moon so empty, a wicked stone, waiting a leftover eye, and so my war is over now, every morning over now. I can't help myself. Anticipation smells like something burning. The day, beautiful is as beautiful knows, carries death in its mouth. This is called This Much I Know. This looks like red eye, long wing bust, gizzard, crushed, flat, and air dried on the macadam. Much of what we think we know is road lost, change drawer, Arco bag caught in jet-scorched American wind, like so many fathers' open hands, red with violence, like a mountain, like a plain, lip skinned through with grit. I never thought of truth like anything but first aid, gauze and tape holding a body together while it bleeds out far as the next town, something Percocet, Tylenol, splint, sling, iodine sky. Know thyself, the Virgin croaked, like Bing was Rand McNally, or some meat scraped off the shoulder and mantle mounted, posted on Facebook. Throw words like dice, like bones, like life. Call a number, call 911. This is called Lines. Nothing is written in stone but emptiness gouged from the face of a rock. The words aren't there, and it's their absence we trace, reading like the blind. Ink stains deeper, bleeding the page, blurring in salted water, curling at that black edge of flame, fading, cracking, crumbling, and falling. History expires in breath thickened and dwindling to scratches. It beats in the flutters of half-sleep, lives in a body, a jerked half-turn toward the light, oil and metal and a hand closed tight. We live in the eclipse. This is repetition. This is graphite and pulp, something that needs to be half-forgotten, misunderstood, every time different and each time more true, a voice woven thick in scratches, ink, stone. anymore. This is reading Hegel on the Feng Hua bus. Hope you all have had the joy of riding on the Feng Hua. Now the days are late, imperial, and I can't wait to check my email. The unconditioned universal mind we make all one, the denim between my palm and you. Remember comes easy like Goblin Valley. Any city in August, sun-crazed streets, dipping walls, stink and smoke, and I, a sudden turn obtuse against the sky, flat iron, run out where the Hudson meets promontory granite, my trail a dim fuse, burning down to wall, no longer confused by the bodies, steel, steam, sweat, trash, concrete. So what the fuck? If you could see the future, would you tell me? And what's New York to me now that I've left her for it? She fills my thoughts, my belly with feathers, and I'm like a woman trading sex for love. A new you reflects yellow something inside. At my age, my dad had had 4 kids, gone AWOL, and worked through a shipyard apprenticeship. At my age, William Carlos Williams published Al Que Quiere. Gray fading, water black, Jersey marshes swallowing, setting, suns under gunmetal Newark. Back to New York for what? My life now, and always some unceasing river. I told my wife my words were water. I want to rent a private shed where I can leave my years, my war, my father. Dead leaf and shadow walking, star-riddled torso, all these women, word not voice, blue grass, pink lines, crepe, yes, and what New York? Architecture, asses, and art. Though it was nice making out with the workshop teacher, fucking under Bellows' photo, we are what others draw up in us. There's a place where things divide, mountain ash, like something out of Nietzsche. I love the toil of pointless pain. What would it look like, staining a page? I used to be ugly, fat, fuck-faced, shaved head, yeah, but got jerked off one night by a Mexican waitress in a bathroom stall at Denny's. 2 more. Pain is a color like black is a color, in Matisse, holding the street up and the Arab walking on it, holding shapes together in a plane, and a plane is a way of rubbing something inside. Delta, American, Lufthansa, Aer Lingus. Wide skies dragged with contrails, a plane is something dust-born, viral essence of the natural world. This never happened. She never walked Alps naked. She never wore a beard, and pain is a color like black is a color. Now I'm surrounded by women with men's names, scattering breaks of marsh birds, holy, silent, wild, flocking, the way their wings unfold, the power of a little air, the way it holds walls together, trees up, the earth out, the road down. My love in a deep black sea. And this one, this is the last one already, called Copley Square Blues. And when I miss the stiff, hard stock in my shoulder, the rich burn of cordite, the grim and laughing, complaining faces of the men and boys I drove with, I put down my Hegel, look at the rain and think, what are all these buildings for? The notion of white walls and green bedside lamp, the woman I married, the other one I left her for, photos from Baghdad, footnotes on a paper on Heidegger, this poem, this morning in Boston. I don't know why I do things, why my hand picks up a rifle, a salute, a ring, a pen, why it crosses a dark bar in the village and brings her face to mine. All I know is movement under fire. All these words, smoke and wreckage, burn and skid. Stasis is death, a target. Ecstasis is a godly death, a moment blasted still at one with a light, the leaf, her eyes, a word, the rifle, kicks. These hands play spades with life like it was only writing, like it was just immortal music to be jerked and plucked in the fussy crossness of reflection, like it wasn't unrecoverable breath, exhaled and gone forever. Like our hearts didn't beat only so many times. So what? The spirit blows within me batteries of angels' wings. Memory knocks knuckles on Kevlar. Words line up, trucks and convoy rolling over the desert's blank page. Headed for hostile territory, weapon, status red. Like prophets, straining for God in the thorny bushes, we wait for word to come down. Thanks.